Hi, I've been coaching female leaders to create healthy boundaries at work and shared an anecdote about the boss who had actually crossed my boundaries. They were sending out emails out of hours. It was adding to my stress because I was a new person in the role and I obviously wanted to perform at my best. Listening to the women recount their own personal experiences, it struck me that there are still leaders who lack self-awareness. And if you're watching this, what if you're the leader who's invading your team member's boundary? I get it. You may not even notice that you're doing it. You're working long hours, there's lots of demands of your time, and a lot of other workplace stresses. But sometimes you can cross another person's boundary without even being aware. But let me be honest, it's no excuse because as a leader, this is all part and parcel of the role. You may even be surprised at some of the ways you may be invading your team members' boundaries. And even if your actions are carried out with the best of intentions, you are infringing on someone else's boundaries. And examples of this are when you consistently not having a structure in your work, so you're calling impromptu meetings, causing persons to work over late at short notice. You burst into another person's private space, so their office without permission. Maybe you're even listening on phone conversations or you're snooping on their personal information, such as emails, diary. You might even threaten employees with losing their job if they don't do what you ask them to do. You show up late to meetings consistently. This shows you're not respecting your employees' time. You dismiss or minimize someone else's beliefs, feelings or desires, say, just get over it, or you worry too much. You might even interrupt when someone's talking, which is a cardinal sin. You gossip about other team members. You ask questions that are possibly too personal for the level of boss-team member relationship. You cast disparaging remarks about their work. You share confidential information about an employee with that employee's peer. And on the other end of the scale, you become physically aggressive with somebody, physically touch, hug without their agreement, or you have intimidating body language. So you bang on the desk, you throw objects, you tower over people, you fold your arms, maybe you give side eye, you don't even realize you're doing it. Now, there are 3 reasons why you may be boundary invading. 1, you learned how to do it. It's how you were led by a prior boundary invading boss. That was your role model. 2, you need to be in control of everything in order to feel in charge. 3, you aren't even aware that your behaviours, what you're exhibiting, matter, or you don't really care what you do or say. If you want to be a great leader, you're going to have to change. And it's possible to make changes in respecting other people's spaces with a few simple steps. Appreciate each of your team members' boundaries. Know that they'll be different and there's no one-size-fits-all approach, so you're going to have to get to know your team. Bring acceptance and curiosity to any relationship as the first connection. Respect. Everyone carries with them a unique set of thoughts, dreams, feelings. Everybody wants to be honoured for their pursuits. Listen, really listen. Set aside your own thoughts and biases so that you can truly listen and understand to the other person. Accept verbal cues. Step back without reacting when you're getting too close, both physically and emotionally. Hear the person's desire to be respected when their discomfort sets up a boundary. Be aware of the subtle signals. Let the other person's body language, look at it, folded arms, tapping foot, looking away from you. That's a signal that you've pushed into areas where you're not welcome. After you've watched this video, take a few minutes to look at your interactions, consider your interactions with your team. Can you identify any ways in which you invade the boundaries of your team members? Consider how you might change those actions to respect their boundaries, because when you understand your own boundaries, you can learn to appreciate the boundaries of others. Respecting boundaries in work relationships allows each person to be free, to evolve and develop in their own right. Respecting boundaries will lead you to developing a team that will help you deliver on your organisational objectives.